How's it going, everyone? So we just got done working and checking the output of this machine. However, it is now time for us to put away for storage. So this video is going to be about how to properly put away your generator for storage. So go ahead, sit down, let's have a chat. We'll show you a few things, what I'm going to do, and then we'll continue on. So first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out the fuel system. In here is non-ethanol. It is brand new. Went to the store yesterday when I filled it. It has about a quart, maybe 2 quarts now. Don't know. It's very minimal. However, it's still fuel, and there's fuel in the carburetor. We don't really like the idea of fuel in the carburetor. Fuel in the tank at this amount is going to be completely fine, because if you're going to turn it back on, you're going to put fresh fuel in it. Fresh fuel mixing with a little bit of old fuel, not going to really do anything. Having said that, the carb though definitely needs to be ran out. So on your machine there should be a shut off somewhere. Mine's in the front. Turn it off, and then outside, or at least having it blown outside, turn on your machine until it dies. I'm going to do that right now. However, I don't want to record all that because it's just really loud, especially for headphones. So I'm going to bring it back once it dies. And there you have it. So what I did there is, when it started to die, I put the choke on half choke, and then when it started to die under half choke, I put it on full choke until it completely died. That will ensure majority of the fuel is gone. Not all, but majority. Okay, now that we're done that, you have an option. If you have a lot of fuel in your tank, you can disconnect the fuel line from the tank somewhere, wherever it is. Put it into a container, gas can, put it in your car, whatever you want to do with it. If it's very, very minimal like this, I recommend just leaving it, because, like I said, you're going to dilute it down. As long as you don't just put like a couple ounces when you first start it up next time, you'll be fine. I've already done this to this machine because I was working on it, but at this point in time, the engine should be relatively warm. The oil should have been moving around. I would highly recommend change your oil. And if you have a new filter, or have a filter like this one does, change the filter. The reason being is, the next time you use it, you don't know how long, especially if it's for emergency purposes. The last thing you want to do is run this for 10, 20, 50, 80, 100 hours on old oil that's been sitting in the motor for who knows how long. Change it, have it ready, and be done with it. In addition to that, be a good idea, maybe not the plug. The plug is usually pretty good for a long time, but go and get your oil, your filter, your air filter, and a plug if you choose to. It's cheap, why not? Do all that. Change them, put it away nice and ready. While you're at the store, get yourself a can of WD-40. A plastic tank, it's really not that big of a problem, but I see a lot of people take a can of WD-40 and clean a tank, and while that's good and all, if you have any type of dust, it's just going to stick to it. However, if you don't, it could be a good idea to kind of coat your tank. I mean, it is plastic. Unless you have a metal one, then you don't really have to worry about it. But if you have a plastic tank, maybe put a little bit of a coating on there, just to kind of, one, it keeps it looking nice, and two, it just kind of keeps it from being like dry and cracking out. In addition to that, look at your fuel lines. Same thing. When you're done with that, look at your fuel lines. If they're getting hard, consider replacing them. Go to any hardware store, auto parts store. They usually have line. You can take some of it in, they'll look at it, and they'll give you a section, small engine shop, whatever. Next, while you are putting your air filter on, take your same can of WD-40. I would recommend you taking it and kind of putting a little bit on in the carburetor where, I'm going to show you, in here. See how the door opens and moves? It's called a butterfly. 'You want to put it right there. In addition to that, if you have a choke, which you probably do, You also want to put it in the choke and just kind of let it soak. The reason for that being is you're trying to make sure that it stays lubricated, because the next time you turn it on, if anything gets stuck, your default position in your carburetor is full open throttle, and then when it starts to speed up, when it starts, it will start to slow itself down to whatever speed it's supposed to be at, 3600 RPMs usually. If for any reason this is stuck open, it's going to keep going until it just maxes itself out, which isn't good for the motor, but it's especially not good for your power head. Especially if you have something connected to it, that is the worst case scenario you could possibly have with whatever's connected to it. You will overvolt that thing and fry it. So don't do that. Putting a little WD-40 kind of helps it stay lubricated and prevents it from doing that. It's not 100% foolproof, obviously, but it is a help. In addition, side note, if you are turning it on for the first time in a long time, or pretty much at all, always move your throttle. There's a linkage somewhere on your machine. Move it and see if everything moves freely. If it does not, then take that same can of WD-40, spray it in there, try to loosen it up. Usually it will loosen right up and there's no problem. If it doesn't, well, you probably have to do some carb work. So if you listen to my first advice, though, you probably don't have to worry about that. Some people will always recommend that you put oil in your carburetor. I'm not really into that idea, or your tank, because it's just going to be a real pain to take it out, and there's coatings in your carburetor to help it out. It's not really necessary. It's kind of like those things that people did back in the day when there wasn't those and they had to do it. But if you see something on the internet that says you should, just know, unless you're using a machine from like the 40s, it's not going to be super necessary. Okay, now at that point in time, you are pretty much set. You can put this away for quite a while and it should start right up the next time. No problems whatsoever. If it does have problems, then obviously you probably put it away with problems. Or depending on how long you had put it away for storage, stuff gets old and things happen. But if you have put a new fuel line, or your fuel lines are soft, if your carburetor's empty, if your fuel tank is basically empty, you have new oil, tune-up parts, everything else, and you didn't stop your machine with something running on it, like whatever electric appliance you're running with it, your generator should start up, it should make power, and you should be okay. Just remember, always move that throttle on your carburetor to make sure nothing is frozen. And you are done. You can put this away. You can put a cover on it. That might be a good idea, especially if you put WD-40 on your tank to help it prevent it from getting dust. If you don't have a cover, that's fine. Doesn't really need one. However, I would say, even though you can put this away for quite a while and it should be okay, it is a good idea to, like every 3 to 4 months, or at least once a season, take it out, turn the fuel on, let it run, turn the fuel off, let it die again, and put it back. What that's going to do is going to do a couple things. It's going to exercise the engine. Things are going to move. Oil's going to move. Oil's going to lubricate. Stuff is going to break free. It's just going to recoat everything in oil. It's good things. It's also going to keep your power head from potentially losing the ability to make power. Not all of them, but some of them do lose their magnetism over a course of time. It does require a little bit to get the whole process started, at least this style. If you have an inverter, you probably never have to worry about that. And a lot of the newer ones, you don't really have to do that. They have permanent magnets and all that. But depending on the style you have, even if you have all those, the worst case scenario is you just exercise your engine and your power head doesn't need to be exercised, but your engine does. If you have an older style that does require, a little routine usage, then you're going to ensure that you don't ever have to worry about it having an issue. So doing these steps not only to put it away, but to exercise it is going to ensure that next time you get your generator or you need to use your generator, it's going to be working just fine. Quick little video. I want to put this out because I just got done using a generator and I bought this one. I wanted to put a video out on it. So if you are in need of putting it away, watch this, do these steps, and next time you need it, it'll be there for you, ready to make power. See you in the next video. Follow me on Instagram at SmallAngel101. If you like what you see, keep watching. Definitely subscribe. Put a thumbs up. This helped you out. That helps me out. And I'll catch you on the next video. You have a good night.